Howdy folks, it's Mama B, and today I'm going to show you how to make my famous potato salad. Now, it might only be famous among my family, but at every family event I'm requested to bring this. So we're going to show you how. First of all, you're going to get your water. I don't know if you can hear me over the water. It's just water. Doesn't really matter how much because I don't measure. I'm going to fill it about half full my pot. So fill your pot to the size of water you want and put it on to boil. Okay, now there's some important things. First, you got to have eggs. So we're putting in freshly washed eggs. You can put in as many as you want. I like to have at least 6 to a dozen, depending on how big of a salad I want. But based on this, I'm trying to remember how big of the pot this is. But based on that, you want a, fairly good sized number of eggs. The next thing is the salt. Because we're cooking potatoes, you want to make sure you have enough salt. So I'm adding that much, but I'm going to tell you the secret to knowing how much. Stir it up and taste that water. If it tastes salty, you have plenty of salt. If it does not taste salty, you probably don't have enough. But you don't want it to be really salty, so you just want it to take off the edge of fresh water flavor with a little taste of salt. So that's what you do. Add enough salt, and then we're going to peel some potatoes. While this is coming to a boil, add the potatoes. The nice thing about the potatoes and the eggs, you can cook them in the same thing, in the same pot, and they'll both get done at the same time. Okay, so I've got about 8 of these red waxy potatoes. I like the waxy. I've also used russet, so they're really great. It doesn't matter what kind you use. Depends on what your preference is. The waxy holds their shape better. You can cut them in smaller pieces and they stay together. They're better, and I like the texture of them when I bite into them. Russet potatoes are a little more grainy, but they kind of melt into the flavor of the salad. So there's good things with either one of them, but they're both acceptable. The key is you want to make sure you have enough salt in that water, because if not, it will absorb the salt from the pickles and it won't taste as good. Okay, so I'm cutting up these potatoes and peeling them, and I'm not going to make you sit through all of this because it's the worst part of the job. So while your potatoes are cooking, you can be doing this part. Basically, you're just cutting up dill pickles. You really can't have too many pickles in this salad. Not according to my recipe. Not according to my salad. You want roughly as many pickles as you have eggs. So, maybe a slightly less. But use your good wisdom, because this is how we cook. Don't cut your fingers. I can hear y'all telling me, Mama B, you should be using a cutting board. Don't cut in your hand like that. You're absolutely right. This is how I've done it all my life. I like to save the dishes, but you're right. Be safe. So this has been boiling for roughly about 10 minutes, and we're just going to check it. 10 minutes should do for the boiling part, for cooking your potatoes and your eggs. But just to be sure, poke your potatoes with a fork, and if it goes in easily, it's done. If it feels a little crunch, like you're biting into a carrot, let it cook a little longer. Alright, so I'm just trying to find one of those potatoes to poke into. And they go in really easily, so we're going to call that done. Okay, now we're just going to put a dollop of mayo. Now, over time you'll start to recognize it, what it's supposed to look like, but basically just, a big heaping scoopful. This is made myself because I can't really stand some of the stuff that they put in regular mayonnaise, but you know what? It tastes great because I spent most of my life making it that way. So that's probably, what would you guess, about 2 cups? Yeah. Yep, about 2 cups. So I don't know, maybe it's a cup and a half. I'd say maybe a cup and a half. Anyway, that's the mayonnaise we're going to use. We've got all those pickles in there, and then I'm going to add a little bit of pickle juice because I don't know about you, but I like the sours, and I don't think you can get too much, especially if it's balanced with the right amount of salt. So we're going to add just a little bit of pickle juice. Don't want it saucy. Well, you want it saucy, you don't want it sloppy. And it kind of makes it like a thick salad dressing. Maybe it's not thick, but anyway. Then we'll add some eggs into that. And honestly, probably more pickles. Okay, so we're going to pour all of this pot into a strainer. Strain off all the water. Do not rinse it. Get all that yummy goodness out of the potatoes. Be careful, it's hot. Very hot. Then we're going to fish out all these eggs. They're very hot, so don't burn yourself, but we're going to fish them out of the potatoes and put them into the pot that they came from and just fill it full of cold water. That will immediately stop the cooking process so they don't get overcooked, because these suckers are still cooking even though they're not in the boiling water. And just kind of work your way through, and then you can just leave that to drain till you finish the rest of the process. Alright. Okay, so now we're just going to peel these eggs. And you want to make sure you get all of the shell off and this little membrane. You see that membrane? That wants to come off too because it's tough and it's not that fun to eat. And when you get all the egg shell off of it, you can use those eggshells to build your compost. They're very good for feeding your garden. But get all the shell off. These are farm fresh eggs, so they're a little tough to peel. And I actually recommend that if you have a steamer, that you use steam to cook these eggs. But we're doing this for the bulk, for the general public. And so if you don't have one, this is how you do it. And just get all that shell and membrane off. And then when you're done with that, you want to make sure to rinse your egg, or the egg white falls apart. Rinse your egg really good before you put it in your salad, because eggshells in a salad are no bueno. Okay, so then we're just going to cut up all these eggs. We've got them peeled. We've got our potatoes in here now and a squirt of mustard, probably about half a tablespoon. And just going to mix it all together. Now you don't want this to be too dry. If it seems like it's too dry, just add a little bit more pickle juice. And just stir that all in. We're going to add just a little more pickle juice. And when you get done with this jar, don't throw it out. What you need to do is look for my pickled egg recipe, because I'm going to be making pickled eggs. I'm going to show you how, and that's really great pickle juice for it. You just stir this all together and you have an absolutely delicious potato salad. Another thing you can do is take a couple of your eggs that you boiled, peel them and slice them in nice little rounds, lay it across the top, lightly sprinkle with paprika. Makes for a very nice display. I'm not going to do it because I'm just going to eat it. But hey folks, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and have a great day.